The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm, golden hue over the vast African savanna. The air was thick with the sweet scent of wildflowers, and the gentle breeze rustled the tall grasses, creating a soothing rhythm that echoed the peaceful ambience of the early afternoon. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Sam, a young wildlife photographer with a passion for capturing the untamed beauty of nature, crouched low behind a bush, his camera lens focused intently on a family of antelopes grazing nearby. He adjusted the focus, his heart racing with anticipation as he waited for the perfect shot. The vibrant colors of the flowers danced in the sunlight, contrasting beautifully with the rich earth tones of the savanna. Sam felt a rush of excitement as he snapped a few photos, each click of the shutter echoing in the stillness of the moment. This was why he loved his job, moments like these, where he could witness nature in its purest form. But as he continued to shoot, a sudden sound broke through the serenity. A sharp whinny sliced through the air, echoing with distress. Sam's heart dropped as he recognized the sound of a horse in trouble. Peering through his camera, he squinted against the bright sunlight and scanned the area, trying to locate the source of the commotion. That's when he spotted it, a stunning chestnut horse struggling in a patch of quicksand, its powerful legs flailing helplessly as it sank deeper into the muck. "Hang on!" Sam shouted instinctively, panic surging through him. He dropped his camera, abandoning his perfect shot, and sprinted toward the scene, adrenaline pumping through his veins. The horse's eyes were wide with fear, its whinnies turning into desperate cries for help. Just then, Sam's instincts kicked in as he noticed a pack of hyenas lurking in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with predatory intent as they circled closer to the trapped animal. The sight sent a chill down his spine. The hyenas were aware of the horse's vulnerability and were preparing to strike. Sam could feel his heart pounding in his chest, each beat echoing in his ears as he raced against time. He had to get there before the hyenas made their move. What could he do? Would he even be able to save the horse from these ruthless predators? As he reached the edge of the quicksand, Sam felt a wave of determination wash over him. He spotted a large branch lying nearby, and in an instant, he grabbed it, his hands shaking with urgency. "I'm coming," he yelled, trying to draw the attention of the hyenas away from the horse. "Get away from her!" The hyenas paused, their gazes shifting from the struggling horse to Sam, momentarily distracted by the unexpected presence. He raised the branch high, ready to defend the horse with all his might. The growling of the hyenas was deafening, a low rumble that echoed around him as they crouched low, their muscles tense and poised for action. Sam's heart raced as he prepared for the confrontation. Come on," he urged himself, adrenaline surging through his veins. Just as he was about to charge forward, he heard a rustling in the tall grass behind him. "Who's there?" he called out, his voice laced with anxiety. He turned his head, expecting to see another animal, but instead, he was met with a surprising sight, a figure in the distance, moving quickly toward the commotion. "Hey! What's going on?" the figure shouted as it approached. Sam squinted against the sun, trying to make out the details. It was Mia, a local veterinarian known for her work with wildlife. Relief flooded through him. "Mia! The horse is stuck in quicksand, and those hyenas are trying to get to it," he explained, his voice urgent. Without hesitation, Mia rushed over, her expression shifting from confusion to determination. "We have to help it," she said, her voice steady and full of resolve. Sam nodded, knowing that time was running out. The hyenas were circling closer, their growls growing louder, and he knew they had to act fast. "Do you have anything we can use to help?" Sam asked, scanning the area for any tools. "We need to distract those hyenas." Mia quickly opened her bag and pulled out a rope. "We can use this to secure the horse once we get it out. But first, we need to get those hyenas away." Sam glanced back at the horse, which was now visibly panicking, its eyes wide and desperate. "I'll try to scare them off," he said, gripping the branch tightly. He knew it was a risky move, but he couldn't just stand by and watch. As he stepped toward the edge of the quicksand, he took a deep breath. "Hey! You!" "Get away from here," he shouted, waving the branch wildly. The hyenas paused, their attention shifting to him. Mia edged closer to the horse, whispering soothingly, "It's okay, girl. We're going to help you." The horse seemed to sense her calmness and stopped thrashing for a moment, focusing on Mia's voice. But the hyenas were undeterred by Sam's yelling. Ruka, the pack leader, growled low, her eyes narrowing as she assessed the situation. They were hungry and desperate, and Sam could see that they were not going to back down easily. "Mia, they're not leaving. We need to act fast," he yelled, panic rising within him. Just then, one of the hyenas lunged forward, causing Sam to leap back instinctively. "Hey! Over here!" Sam shouted, brandishing the branch to draw their attention away from Mia and the horse. But the hyenas were undeterred, their instincts driving them toward the easy prey before them. "Focus on me," Sam called out, swinging the branch to create distance between himself and the pack. "You want a meal? Then come get me." With adrenaline surging through him, he stood his ground, ready to fight for the horse and for Mia. The horse, still caught in the quicksand, let out a desperate whinny, which only fueled the hyena's eagerness. Ruka growled, her body tense as she sensed the shift in the air. Sam could feel his heart racing, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. Suddenly, Ruka signaled to the rest of the pack, and they lunged forward together, their bodies moving in a synchronized attack. "No!" Sam shouted, panic surging through him. He swung the branch wildly, trying to fend off the oncoming hyenas, but they were fast and relentless. In that instant, he realized he needed a plan, a way to keep the hyenas at bay while Mia worked to free the horse. "Mia, can you get the rope around her neck?" he called out, glancing back at her. "I'll try," she replied, her voice filled with determination. "Just keep them away from me." With renewed determination, Sam faced the pack again, focusing all his energy on distracting the hyenas. He waved the branch in front of them, yelling, "Get away! You don't want to mess with me." But the hyenas were relentless. They darted to the left and right, trying to flank him, their growls echoing in the air. Sam could feel the tension mounting, the danger closing in. "Mia, hurry," he urged, glancing over his shoulder. "I'm almost there." Mia shouted back, her hand steady as she approached the horse. "Just keep them busy." With one last push, Sam swung the branch with all his might, narrowly missing a hyena as it lunged at him. He could feel his heart racing, the stakes higher than ever. Just as he thought they might gain the upper hand, Ruka let out a deafening roar, rallying her pack for a final charge. "Mia!" Sam yelled, desperation creeping into his voice. "We need to move now." But just then, as if sensing the urgency of the moment, the horse let out a fierce whinny, its instincts kicking in. With one final burst of strength, it lunged toward Mia, desperate to escape the quicksand. "Mia, pull back!" Sam shouted, fear gripping his heart. In that moment of chaos, everything seemed to happen at once. The horse surged forward, breaking free from the quicksand, and Mia was quick to react, grabbing the rope and securing it around the horse's neck. "Yes! We did it!" she exclaimed, relief flooding her voice. But before they could celebrate, the hyenas pounced, their snarls echoing around them. "Mia, get back!" Sam yelled, brandishing the branch once more. The horse, now free from the quicksand, began to gallop toward safety, but the hyenas were hot on its heels. "We have to get the horse to safety!" Sam shouted, his heart pounding in his chest. With a burst of adrenaline, Sam and Mia sprinted after the horse, fear driving them forward. They could hear the hyenas closing in, their growls sending shivers down Sam's spine. "Keep going! Don't look back," he urged, his voice a mix of desperation and hope. As they ran, the savannah opened up around them, but the path ahead was uncertain. The sound of the hyenas echoed in the distance, and Sam felt a surge of determination. They had to protect the horse at all costs, no matter what danger lay ahead. Finally, the horse reached a small thicket, its instinct guiding it toward safety. Sam and Mia pushed forward, determined to keep the hyenas at bay. We're almost there, Sam shouted, adrenaline fueling their every step. But as the hyenas closed in, their snarls filled the air, and Sam knew they had to act fast. This way, he yelled, directing Mia and the horse toward a nearby cluster of trees. They needed cover, a place to regroup and strategize. As they dashed into the thicket, Sam felt a moment of relief wash over him. They had made it this far, but the threat was far from over. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. The horse, breathing heavily, looked back at them with wide eyes, and Sam could sense its fear. Stay close, Mia urged, her voice steady despite the chaos. We'll keep you safe. With the hyenas momentarily distracted, Sam took a deep breath, knowing that this battle was just beginning. They had to find a way to fend off the pack and protect the horse. The odds were against them, but together, they would face whatever came next. Sam's heart raced as he watched the scene unfold before him. The horse, a beautiful creature with a glossy chestnut coat, struggled desperately in the quicksand, its legs sinking deeper with every frantic movement. The pack of hyenas, hidden in the tall grass, watched with keen eyes, their sinister smiles betraying their hunger. Sam felt a rush of panic. He couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Without a second thought, he dropped his camera on the ground and sprinted toward the horse, his mind racing. What can I do? He thought frantically. As he ran, he scanned the area for anything that could help. The sunlight glinted off the surface of the quicksand, creating a false sense of calm that only heightened his urgency. He could hear the hyenas' low growls, their patience thin as they waited for the right moment to strike. As Sam approached, the horse let out a distressed whinny, its eyes wide with fear. Sam could see that it was becoming weaker by the second. The hyenas began to circle closer, their instincts kicking in as they prepared for the hunt. Sam felt a surge of adrenaline as he shouted, "Hey! Get away from her!" His voice echoed across the savannah, startling the hyenas momentarily. But they were undeterred. Sam could see the way their eyes gleamed with excitement, and he knew he had to act quickly. He spotted a large branch on the ground nearby, its thick trunk sturdy enough to use as a makeshift lever. This could work, he thought, running toward it and grabbing it with both hands. Stay calm, girl, he called out to the horse, trying to keep its focus on him instead of the danger surrounding it. As he swung the branch in front of him, the hyenas hesitated, their growls turning into curious snarls. They're scared, he realized, using this moment to create a distraction. Come on. I'm not going to let them hurt you. The horse, sensing Sam's determination, shifted its weight, trying to inch closer to him. Sam positioned himself between the horse and the encroaching hyenas, ready to defend both himself and the animal. He felt the heat rising in his chest, a mixture of fear and resolve fueling his every move. With a deep breath, Sam shouted again, his voice ringing with authority. You want a meal? You'll have to go through me first. He waved the branch, hoping to intimidate the hyenas. For a moment, they paused, their heads tilting in confusion. Sam could feel his heart pounding in his ears, the weight of the situation crashing down around him. He glanced back at the horse, which was still struggling in the quicksand. The sight of its powerful legs sinking deeper made his stomach twist. Come on. You can do it, he encouraged, hoping to instill some strength in the animal. The horse whinnied again, a mix of fear and hope. Just as the hyenas began to circle again, Sam swung the branch closer, trying to keep them at bay. Get back, he yelled, feeling the adrenaline surge through him. The lead hyena growled low, its eyes locked onto Sam with a predatory gleam. This was no ordinary confrontation, this was a battle of survival. Suddenly, the horse made a desperate move, kicking its legs in an attempt to escape the grasp of the quicksand. Sam's heart sank. The horse was becoming more panicked by the moment, and if it didn't calm down, it could injure itself even further. Sam needed to act quickly, but how? Think, he urged himself, scanning the area for any other tools he could use. If only I could pull it out, he thought, but the quicksand was too thick, and the horse was too far gone. Just then, a loud rustling echoed through the tall grass nearby. Sam turned, adrenaline spiking as he wondered what else could be lurking in the shadows. Before he could react, a dark shape emerged from the brush. A massive male lion appeared, its mane glowing in the sunlight. Sam's heart raced, both in fear and relief. Would the lion turn its attention toward the horse, or would it join the fight against the hyenas? The lion let out a deep, rumbling growl, and the hyenas paused, instinctively retreating a few steps. "Hey! Over here!" Sam shouted, waving the branch at the lion. "I could use some help." The lion's eyes narrowed, assessing the situation before focusing on the horse. For a moment, the savannah felt silent, as if holding its breath in anticipation. Sam felt hope blossoming within him. If the lion joined them, they might stand a chance against the hungry pack. The lion stepped forward, its muscles rippling beneath its golden coat. "Yes. This is it," Sam thought, feeling the weight of his earlier despair begin to lift. But the hyenas weren't backing down. They watched the lion with narrowed eyes, growling softly, unsure of how to proceed. The lead hyena, Ruka, flicked her tail nervously but quickly regained her composure. "We can still take that horse," she barked, rallying her pack. The lion roared again, a sound that reverberated through the air and sent a chill down Sam's spine. "This is my territory," the lion seemed to say. The hyenas hesitated, clearly intimidated, but Sam knew they would not give up easily. "Let's go," Sam urged the lion, pointing toward the struggling horse. "That horse needs us." The lion glanced at the horse, then back at Sam, its expression unreadable. Would it choose to help, or would it prioritize its own safety? Ruka, sensing the tension, snarled and took a step forward. "You won't get away that easily," she taunted, her pack gathering behind her, ready to defend their claim. The lion's eyes flashed with irritation. "Back off," the lion roared, taking a menacing step toward the hyenas. Sam felt a surge of courage, realizing they could actually turn the tide in this confrontation. "We need to work together," he shouted, hoping to appeal to the lion's instincts to protect. With the lion standing strong and Sam wielding the branch, they formed an unlikely alliance. The hyenas growled, their confidence shaken but not broken. Sam's heart raced as he watched the scene unfold, wondering how this confrontation would end. Would they succeed in protecting the horse, or would the hyenas overtake them in the chaos? Just then, the horse whinnied again, the sound filled with urgency. "Come on! You can do this!" Sam shouted to the horse, his voice steady and encouraging. The lion looked at Sam, sensing the resolve in his words, and began to move closer to the trapped animal. "Let's get her out of here," Sam yelled, feeling a wave of hope wash over him. He knew they had to act fast before the hyenas regrouped. The lion approached the edge of the quicksand, its massive form a powerful presence next to the struggling horse. As the lion positioned itself, Sam glanced back at the hyena pack. Ruka was pacing, her eyes darting between the lion and the quicksand. The tension was thick, everyone was poised for action, and Sam could feel the electric charge in the air. "Now," he yelled, pointing toward the horse. The lion let out another fierce roar, a sound that reverberated through the savannah, asserting its dominance. The hyenas flinched, their instincts urging them to back down. Seizing the moment, Sam rushed forward, plunging the branch into the ground beside the horse. "Grab onto this," he instructed, carefully positioning the branch so that the horse could use it as leverage. "You can do it." With the lion's powerful presence pushing back the hyenas, the horse finally began to pull itself out of the quicksand, using the branch for support. Sam felt a rush of excitement as the horse moved closer to safety, its powerful legs kicking against the thick sludge. "Almost there," he encouraged, his voice ringing with determination. The lion stood protectively nearby, keeping the hyenas at bay with its menacing posture. But just as the horse was nearly free, Ruka let out a furious snarl and lunged forward, desperate to reclaim her prize. "No!" Sam shouted, panic surging through him. He swung the branch again, this time aiming for the nearest hyena. The blow landed with a thud, startling Ruka and forcing her to retreat. With renewed determination, Sam turned back to the horse. "You can do it. Just a little more." The horse struggled, its hooves finding solid ground as it pushed with all its strength. The quicksand relinquished its grip, and with one final heave, the horse stumbled free. The moment was electric, and as the horse stood panting beside Sam, they could hear the defeated growls of the hyenas retreating into the shadows. The lion let out a triumphant roar, signaling victory over the predators. The immediate danger had passed, but Sam knew they needed to get the horse to safety before the hyenas regrouped. "Let's go," Sam urged, leading the horse away from the quicksand and into the open savanna. The lion walked alongside them, its imposing presence providing reassurance. Together, they moved swiftly, the weight of their harrowing encounter still fresh in their minds. As they reached a nearby thicket, Sam paused to look back, watching as the hyenas slinked away into the distance, their confidence shattered. Relief washed over him. They had done it. They had faced the odds together and triumphed. "You're safe now," Sam whispered to the horse, feeling a connection with the creature. The horse nickered softly, its eyes filled with gratitude and trust. Beside him, the lion regarded them both, its expression calm but proud. "Thank you," Sam said, looking up at the majestic animal. "You were amazing." The lion tilted its head, a silent acknowledgement of their shared victory. The sun was setting on the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink. Sam felt a sense of fulfillment wash over him. Today, he had not only saved a horse but also forged an unexpected alliance with a lion. The bond they had formed in the face of danger would stay with him forever. As they moved further away from the quicksand, Sam couldn't help but feel a sense of hope. The savanna was full of surprises, and together, they had proven that courage and teamwork could conquer even the fiercest of challenges. "Let's find you a safe place to rest," Sam said to the horse, leading it onward with the lion at his side. They had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, and as they ventured into the fading light, he knew they would continue to protect one another, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Just as the tension in the air reached a fever pitch, a low rumble echoed through the savanna. From the thicket of acacia trees emerged a massive male lion, his golden mane shimmering in the sunlight. It was Chemo, the protector of the pride, and he moved with an air of authority that demanded attention. The playful roars of the cubs turned into squeals of joy and relief as they spotted their father approaching. "Dad!" Leo, the bravest of the cubs, called out, his voice filled with hope. The other cubs gathered close, eyes wide with admiration. Chemo surveyed the scene with a keen gaze, quickly assessing the danger. His powerful muscles rippled beneath his fur as he locked onto the sight of the hyena pack lurking just beyond the quicksand, their eyes gleaming with predatory intent. Chemo could sense the urgency of the situation. The hyenas had already shown their willingness to attack, and he could not allow them to harm his cubs. With a deep growl resonating from deep within his chest, he approached the quicksand, positioning himself between the hyenas and the trapped horse. The air crackled with tension as the two predators sized each other up, each waiting for the other to make a move. The cubs, filled with awe, watched their father with admiration. "Go, Dad!" Nia shouted, her little paws dancing in excitement. Chemo stood tall and proud, his deep brown eyes fixed on Ruka, the leader of the hyena pack. She was a formidable opponent, but Chemo had the advantage of size and strength. He could feel the weight of responsibility resting on his shoulders, his cubs were counting on him, and he would not let them down. Ruka stepped forward, her confidence unwavering. "You think you can protect that horse and your little ones?" she taunted, a sly grin stretching across her face. "You're outnumbered, lion." The other hyenas growled in agreement, their eyes fixed on Chemo, eager for a fight. Chemo could see the challenge in Ruka's eyes, and he knew he had to act quickly. "Leave the horse alone, Ruka!" Chemo roared, his voice booming across the savanna. "You have no right to prey on those who cannot defend themselves." His declaration rang true, filled with a sense of authority that sent shivers down the spines of the hyenas. They hesitated, sensing the determination radiating from Chemo. But Ruka was not easily intimidated. "You think you can scare us off? We've taken down bigger prey than you, Lion," she snapped back, her bravado a mask for the uncertainty brewing within her pack. Chemo felt the tension rise, but he stood his ground, muscles taut, ready to defend both the horse and his cubs at all costs. The sun glinted off Chemo's coat, showcasing his imposing stature as he took a step closer to Ruka. "You may think you're strong, but your pack is no match for a lion defending his family," he warned, his tone deep and steady. Chemo felt the eyes of the cubs on him, their faith in him unwavering. He could not fail them. As the hyenas growled, Chemo suddenly spotted movement behind Ruka. The other members of the pack seemed restless, their eyes darting between their leader and Chemo. The smell of tension filled the air, and Chemo sensed an opportunity. "You know this isn't worth it, Ruka," he said, attempting to appeal to the hyena's better judgment. "You can still walk away." For a moment, it seemed as if Ruka might relent. The tension in her jaw tightened, and Chemo could see the conflict in her eyes. But just as it looked like she might turn back, a low growl escaped her throat, and she straightened up. "We don't back down, especially not from a lion like you," she snapped, rallying her pack with a flick of her tail. The hyenas responded with a chorus of snarls, emboldened by their leader's defiance. Chemo's heart raced as the confrontation escalated. He knew he couldn't afford to let the hyenas gain confidence. "I won't let you harm that horse," he declared, lunging forward with a roar that echoed through the savannah. The sound sent a jolt through the pack, momentarily startling them. But it was too late, their instincts kicked in, and the hyenas charged, a whirlwind of fur and teeth. Chemo braced himself, planting his feet firmly as he prepared to defend the horse. The clash of predator against predator erupted in a flurry of growls and snarls, the chaos of battle consuming the quiet afternoon. In the midst of the fray, the cubs huddled together, watching wide-eyed as their father faced off against the hyenas. Leo's heart pounded in his chest, torn between fear for his father and admiration for his bravery. "Dad will win," he whispered to Nia, trying to bolster her spirits. Mia, the horse trapped in the quicksand, could sense the danger unfolding around her. With every growl and clash, she felt a flicker of hope as Chemo fought valiantly to protect her. The fear coursing through her veins slowly began to transform into determination. She would not allow herself to be a victim. Suddenly, as Chemo fought off one hyena, another one lunged at his flank. He felt a sharp pain as teeth grazed his side, but he quickly countered, swinging his powerful paw to knock the hyena away. "Get back," he roared, adrenaline fueling his every move. He had to protect both the horse and his cubs, and he would fight with every ounce of strength he had. As the battle raged on, Chemo's thoughts shifted to his cubs. "Stay back. Don't come any closer," he shouted, knowing they were watching with wide eyes. He didn't want them to witness the brutality of the fight, but he also needed them to understand the danger they were in. The hyenas were ruthless, and he couldn't let them see any weakness. Ruka, seeing Chemo's distraction, attempted to capitalize on it, lunging toward the cubs. "Get them," she commanded her pack, and the hyenas turned, their focus shifting toward the vulnerable cubs. Chemo's heart dropped as he realized what was happening. "No," he roared, his instincts kicking in as he pushed himself forward, determined to protect his family at all costs. "Stay back, cubs," he shouted again, his voice laced with urgency. The hyenas charged, but Chemo was faster, intercepting them with powerful swipes of his paws. He felt the weight of the world on his shoulders as he battled against the odds, knowing that every moment mattered. In a split second, Chemo was forced to make a choice. He could either continue to fight off the hyenas or risk leaving the horse vulnerable. He quickly glanced back at Mia, who was still trapped in the quicksand, and his heart raced. She needed his help, but his cubs needed protection, too. With a growl of determination, Chemo pushed forward, his massive form shielding his cubs. "You will not harm my family," he bellowed, charging at Ruka with fierce resolve. The hyenas faltered, unsure of how to combat the lion's unwavering spirit. Chemo's roar reverberated through the savannah, sending a clear message: he would not back down. As the fight continued, Chemo felt a surge of strength as he faced off against Ruka once more. He was tired, and his muscles ached from the effort, but the thought of his cubs fueled him. "Together, we can push them back," he shouted to his family, encouraging them to stay close. The battle raged on, with Chemo refusing to yield. Just then, a loud commotion erupted nearby, capturing the attention of both Chemo and the hyena pack. They turned their heads to see a herd of wildebeests charging across the savannah, their hooves pounding the ground with ferocity. "Now!" Chemo shouted to Mia and the cubs. "Let's go!" With renewed determination, he led them toward the trees, knowing they needed to escape the chaos. The sight of the wildebeests startled the hyenas, who hesitated for a moment as they assessed the new threat. Chemo seized the opportunity and pushed the cubs forward, urging them to run. "Go! Get to safety," he commanded, his protective instincts driving him forward. The cubs sprinted ahead, following their father's lead, while Mia struggled to free herself from the quicksand. With a final, powerful push, Chemo knocked the nearest hyena away, creating enough distance for his family to escape. "Keep running," he shouted, glancing back at the approaching herd. The wildebeests were now charging straight toward the fray, their sheer size and strength promising to scatter the hyena pack. As the hyenas reevaluated their position, the chaos around them intensified. Chemo knew this was their chance. "Mia, hold on. We're coming," he called out as he returned to help her. The hyenas were still focused on him, but the arrival of the wildebeests created a distraction they desperately needed. With one last effort, Chemo lunged forward, grabbing the rope that had been used to trap Mia. "I've got you," he shouted, pulling her free from the quicksand's grip. Together, they stumbled toward the trees, the sounds of the charging wildebeests growing louder behind them. Finally, they reached the safety of the trees, the dense foliage providing shelter from the hyenas and the chaos that had unfolded. The herd of wildebeests thundered past them, forcing the hyenas to scatter in all directions. Chemo, Mia, and the cubs huddled together, their hearts racing as they watched the scene unfold. "Are we safe?" Leo asked, looking up at his father with wide eyes. "For now," Chemo replied, panting heavily. "But we need to stay alert. The hyenas could regroup." Mia nodded, still catching her breath. "Thank you for saving me, Chemo. I couldn't have done it without you," she said, gratitude shining in her eyes. Chemo smiled, a mix of pride and relief washing over him. "We all did this together," he said, glancing at the cubs, who were still shaken but safe. "That's what family does. We protect one another." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the family settled in the trees, the sense of danger slowly fading. They had faced the threat together, and together they would continue to stand strong. In that moment, surrounded by the love and support of his family, Chemo knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would always have each other's backs. With their bond strengthened through adversity, they were ready to face whatever the savannah had in store for them next. Just as Sam prepared to confront the leopards with the branch raised high, the tension in the air thickened. Ruka, the lead hyena, stood poised, her eyes narrowing as she gauged Sam's movements. She let out a low growl, her pack surrounding her, muscles rippling beneath their fur. They were a fierce group, known for their cunning and teamwork, and they were not easily deterred. Sam felt the weight of the moment press down on him, but he knew he had to protect the horse at all costs. "Hey! Over here," he shouted, trying to divert the leopard's attention. He waved the branch frantically, hoping to create enough distraction for Mia to secure the rope around the horse. The leopards hesitated for a moment, their instincts pulling them in two directions, prey or threat. Sam's heart raced as he realized they were still deciding. Mia moved swiftly, her eyes fixed on the horse, whose frightened eyes mirrored her determination. "Come on, girl, just a little closer," she whispered soothingly. The horse responded to her gentle voice, inching forward, but the quicksand was still dragging it down, and time was slipping away. The leopards began to edge closer, their growls echoing in the stillness of the savannah. Sam took a step forward, ready to defend Mia and the horse, but he knew he couldn't let fear overwhelm him. "You want a meal?" he shouted, his voice strong. "Come and get me." Ruka growled again, her patience wearing thin. She lunged at Sam, her pack following suit. "Now, Mia!" Sam yelled, adrenaline surging through him. He swung the branch as hard as he could, narrowly missing Ruka as she darted to the side, her eyes filled with anger. The other hyenas hesitated for just a moment, unsure of their next move. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Sam felt the weight of the moment hanging in the air. The fate of the horse depended on their actions now. "Mia, we need to hurry," he urged, glancing back to see if she had managed to secure the rope. She was kneeling beside the horse, her hand steady as she tied the rope around its body. The horse trembled but remained still, sensing that Mia was there to help. "I've got it," Mia shouted, tying the final knot. "Let's pull her out." Just as they began to pull, the leopards took the opportunity to advance, their eyes glinting with hunger. Sam felt his heart drop as he saw the pack moving in sync, their muscles coiled and ready to strike. "Keep pulling, Mia. Don't look back," he commanded, swinging the branch again to keep the leopards at bay. With a collective effort, they pulled hard on the rope. The horse gave a desperate heave, and for a moment, it seemed like they might actually succeed. But just then, Ruka lunged forward, snapping at Sam's legs. "Watch out!" Mia cried, pulling on the rope with all her might. Sam jumped back just in time, but the sudden movement caused him to lose his balance. He stumbled, and the branch slipped from his grip. "No," he shouted, realizing he was now defenseless against the approaching leopards. "Mia, stay back," he yelled as Ruka circled around, her pack closing in on them. The tension was thick, and Sam could feel the impending doom looming over them. The hyenas were ready to attack, and the weight of their fangs hung heavy in the air. Mia's eyes were wide with fear, but determination shone through. "We can't give up," she shouted, refusing to back down. "We have to save the horse." Sam felt a surge of courage at her words. Together, they had faced danger before, and they couldn't let fear stop them now. With renewed resolve, Sam glanced around, searching for anything he could use as a weapon. His eyes landed on a large rock nearby. "Mia, cover the horse." "I'll distract them," he called, rushing toward the rock. He needed to buy them more time to pull the horse free. As he picked up the rock, he felt a sense of determination flooding his veins. "Hey! Over here," he shouted again, throwing the rock at the ground near the leopards. The sound startled them, and for a brief moment, they turned their attention away from the horse. "Now, Mia!" Sam yelled, hoping she could make the most of the distraction. Mia nodded, her face set with determination. With all her strength, she pulled on the rope, urging the horse to move. "Come on, girl. You can do it." The horse responded, struggling against the quicksand with newfound energy. The rope was taut, and Sam could see the determination in Mia's eyes as she coaxed the horse to safety. The leopards hesitated, unsure of where to focus their attention. "Mia, don't stop," Sam shouted, keeping his eyes fixed on the leopards. He was ready to defend them both if necessary. The pack was still circling, but they were losing their confidence with every passing second. Suddenly, Ruka let out a sharp bark, rallying the other hyenas to attack. Sam's heart raced as he prepared for the worst. But just then, the sound of approaching hooves echoed in the distance, cutting through the tension. "What's that?" Mia exclaimed, glancing back. Sam turned, his heart pounding with hope. A herd of wildebeests was charging across the savannah, drawn to the commotion. The ground trembled beneath them as the animals raced toward the scene. "Wildebeests!" Sam shouted, his voice filled with urgency. "They'll scatter the hyenas." He quickly returned his attention to the leopards, knowing that time was of the essence. The hyenas seemed to sense the approaching herd, their attention divided. "Now's our chance," Mia urged, pulling even harder on the rope. The horse let out a whinny, sensing the shift in the air, and made a final desperate effort to escape the quicksand. With a powerful heave, the horse broke free from the quicksand, stumbling onto solid ground. Relief washed over both Sam and Mia as they watched the horse regain its footing. The leopards, caught off guard by the sudden change in the scene, turned their heads toward the approaching herd, their instincts kicking in. "Run!" Sam shouted, urging Mia to get to safety with the horse. They quickly guided the horse toward the thick bushes at the edge of the savanna, where the wildebeests were now charging past, creating chaos. The hyenas, realizing their chance for an easy meal had slipped away, darted into the underbrush, following the herd as they rushed past. Sam and Mia watched, breathless, as the dangerous pack lost interest in the horse and became engulfed in the stampede. Once they reached the safety of the bushes, Sam and Mia turned to the horse, who stood trembling but unharmed. "We did it," Sam said, his voice filled with awe. "We actually saved her." Mia smiled, her eyes shining with relief and triumph. "I can't believe it. We fought off a pack of hyenas." The adrenaline was still pumping through their veins as they took a moment to catch their breath. The horse nuzzled them, sensing their kindness, and they both laughed in disbelief. "You're safe now," Mia said gently, rubbing the horse's neck. "Thank you for trusting us." As they stood together, watching the wildebeests disappear into the distance, Sam felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had faced danger head-on and triumphed against the odds. But more importantly, they had forged a bond with the horse that would stay with them forever. They took a moment to appreciate the beauty of the savanna around them, grateful for the life they had saved and the adventure they had shared. Together, they knew they could face anything that came their way. "Let's get her back to the ranch," Sam said, feeling a surge of responsibility. "She needs a safe place to recover." Mia nodded, still glowing with excitement. "I can't wait to tell everyone about our adventure." As they led the horse back through the savanna, Sam felt a deep connection to the wild and the creatures within it. They had experienced something extraordinary, and he knew this was only the beginning of their journey together. Just as Sam and Mia managed to secure the rope around the horse's neck, the leopards unleashed a series of fierce growls, sensing the struggle and realizing their opportunity was slipping away. The sound echoed ominously in the air, causing the hair on the back of Sam's neck to stand on end. He felt the weight of their predatory gaze fixed on them, and a rush of adrenaline surged through his veins. "We've got to move quickly," he shouted to Mia, trying to drown out the fear creeping into his mind. Mia nodded, determination shining in her eyes. "On the count of 3, we pull together," she called out, her voice steady despite the looming danger. They had to act fast to pull the horse from the quicksand before the leopards decided to make their move. Sam could see the tension in the horse's body, its breathing shallow as it struggled against the suffocating grip of the mud. "Okay, let's do this," Sam replied, gripping the rope tighter. 1, 2, 3. They pulled with all their might, feeling the resistance of the quicksand as the horse fought to free itself. The animal whinnied in distress, the sound echoing through the savanna, mixing with the growls of the leopards. Sam could see the fear in its eyes, and his heart ached for the helpless creature. With all their strength combined, they managed to inch the horse closer to the edge of the quicksand, but it was still sinking. The leopards, sensing that their chance to claim their prey was dwindling, began to circle closer, their muscles coiling and ready to pounce. "Sam! They're coming!" Mia yelled, her voice filled with urgency as she turned her gaze to the leopards. "Just a little more," Sam urged, focusing on the horse. They were so close, but the danger felt all too real. The leopards were inching closer, their eyes gleaming with hunger. Sam glanced back at the animals, adrenaline surging through him as he realized how dire their situation was. "We can't let them get to the horse," he shouted, determination rising within him. Just then, as they tugged again on the rope, the horse let out a powerful whinny, and in a moment of panic, it kicked its hind legs in a desperate attempt to break free. The force was unexpected, causing Sam and Mia to stumble back. "Hold on tight," Mia cried, trying to steady herself as they struggled to regain control. The sudden movement startled the leopards, causing them to pause for a brief moment. It was the opening Sam and Mia needed. "Now!" Sam shouted, his heart racing. They pulled with every ounce of strength they had, feeling the horse respond to their efforts. The quicksand relinquished its hold, and the horse began to move forward, inching its way closer to safety. But just as they thought they had succeeded, one of the leopards darted forward, taking advantage of the distraction. "Look out!" Mia yelled, pushing Sam aside as she aimed to protect the horse. Sam's heart dropped as he saw the leopard pouncing toward them, its claws extended and teeth bared. In a flash, Sam grabbed a nearby branch, swinging it toward the approaching predator. "Get back," he shouted, adrenaline fueling his actions. The branch connected with the leopard's side, causing it to stumble and momentarily lose its footing. The distraction bought them just enough time, but the other leopard quickly shifted its focus. Mia stood her ground, gripping the rope tightly, refusing to let the horse go. "We need to keep it moving," she shouted, her voice filled with determination. With a surge of energy, Sam and Mia coordinated their efforts, pulling with all their might as the horse finally broke free from the clutches of the quicksand. "Come on. You can do it." Mia encouraged the horse, her heart racing as it stumbled forward, clearly disoriented but eager to escape the danger. The leopard snarled in frustration, realizing their chance for an easy meal was slipping away. They circled around, growling and snapping, but Sam and Mia stood firm, ready to defend their newfound friend. "Let's go," Sam urged, directing the horse toward the nearby thicket of trees. "We have to get it to safety." The horse, sensing its opportunity for escape, bolted ahead, following their lead. As they reached the trees, the leopards hesitated, unsure whether to continue the chase. Sam could feel his heart pounding as they approached the safety of the underbrush. "We're almost there," he yelled, adrenaline fueling their escape. The horse stumbled but kept pushing forward, driven by instinct and the urge to survive. Suddenly, one of the leopards darted toward them, but Sam was ready. He swung the branch again, and the leopard skidded to a halt, snarling in frustration. "Mia, hurry," he shouted, desperate to keep them all safe. The tension was palpable as they reached the edge of the trees, the sounds of the savannah fading behind them. Just as they entered the thicket, Sam felt a wave of relief wash over him. They had made it. The horse paused, breathing heavily but safe for the moment. Mia gently stroked its neck, whispering soothing words. "You're okay now." "We're here," she said, her voice calming. Sam leaned against a tree, his heart racing as he caught his breath. "That was too close," he said, looking at the horse with concern. "We need to get it out of here before those leopards decide to come back." The horse nickered softly, seemingly grateful for their help. But Sam knew they couldn't stay in the thicket for long. They needed to find a way to lead it to safety, away from the danger of the savannah and the lurking predators. "Let's try to lead it toward the river," Mia suggested, glancing around at their surroundings. "It'll be safer there, and we can find help." Sam nodded in agreement, feeling the urgency of the situation weighing on them. Together, they moved carefully through the underbrush, guiding the horse along the narrow path toward the river. With each step, they kept a watchful eye for any sign of the leopards returning. The forest was quiet, but the tension lingered in the air. As they made their way deeper into the thicket, the sound of rushing water grew louder. The horse seemed to respond to the sound, its pace quickening as it sensed safety ahead. "Almost there, buddy," Sam encouraged, feeling hope surge within him. But just as they reached the riverbank, Sam's heart sank. The leopards had followed them, stealthily emerging from the trees. "Mia, behind us," he shouted, his voice filled with urgency. The leopards snarled, their eyes locked on the horse, which was now trapped between the rushing river and the predators. "We have to protect it," Mia exclaimed, her voice steady despite the panic rising in her chest. "Let's keep it moving. We can't let them get close," Sam urged, positioning himself between the horse and the leopards. The situation was dire, but he refused to back down. With the sound of rushing water in the background, they prepared for the confrontation, knowing they had to stand strong together. The leopards lunged forward, and Sam gripped the branch tightly, ready to defend the horse at all costs. "Stay behind me," he shouted to Mia as he swung the branch at the nearest leopard. The animal dodged to the side, its eyes gleaming with malice. The tension in the air was thick as Sam and Mia prepared for a fight, determined to protect their new friend. The battle began as the leopards charged, and Sam felt the adrenaline surging through his body. He swung his branch, trying to fend off the attacking predators while keeping the horse safe. The leopards moved with grace and agility, but Sam and Mia were fueled by their determination to save the horse. Mia grabbed another branch from the ground, joining Sam in their defense. "We can't let them win," she shouted, swinging her makeshift weapon at one of the leopards. The animals were relentless, but the courage of Sam and Mia shone brightly amidst the chaos. "Keep moving, horse! Stay close!" Sam yelled, trying to guide the horse away from danger. But the leopards were fast, darting in and out, their growls echoing through the air. Just as it seemed they were outnumbered, the sound of a loud roar broke through the chaos. Sam turned to see a massive figure emerge from the trees, a male lion, his mane flowing majestically in the wind. It was Chemo, the protector of the pride. "Chemo!" Mia cried, relief flooding her voice. "Help us!" The lion strode forward, his presence commanding and powerful, instantly intimidating the leopards. The leopards paused, realizing they were no longer the apex predators in this scenario. Chemo let out another thunderous roar, and the leopards took a step back, hesitating. "Get away from my territory," he warned, eyes blazing with authority. Sam and Mia exchanged glances, feeling a wave of hope wash over them as they witnessed the change in the situation. With Chemo's presence, the dynamics shifted dramatically. The leopards, realizing they were outmatched, slowly backed away, their growls fading into reluctant retreats. Chemo stood firm, watching as the predators slipped back into the shadows, defeated. "You did well," Chemo said, turning to Sam and Mia, pride evident in his tone. "You protected the horse and stood your ground." Relief washed over Sam as he glanced at the horse, which now appeared calmer, sensing that the danger had passed. "Thank you, Chemo." "We couldn't have done it without you," Mia exclaimed, tears of gratitude brimming in her eyes. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the savannah, the trio, Sam, Mia, and Chemo, gathered around the horse, who seemed to understand it was safe at last. They watched as the last rays of sunlight illuminated the scene, a testament to the bond they had forged through adversity. With the leopards retreating and the danger behind them, they knew they had triumphed against the odds. Together, they had saved the horse, and with Chemo's help, they would ensure its safety moving forward. "Let's take her back to the pride," Chemo suggested, his voice calm and reassuring. "She needs to be with her own kind, and we can protect her together." As they made their way back toward the pride, Sam felt a sense of fulfillment swell within him. They had faced danger, stood strong in the face of adversity, and emerged victorious. The journey had brought them closer, and together they would continue to protect the animals of the savannah. With the stars beginning to twinkle overhead, they knew that their adventure was far from over. But for now, they were a team, a united front against any threat that dared to challenge them. And as they walked side by side, Sam, Mia, and Chemo knew that they would always be ready to rise to the occasion, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Together, they would forge a path of bravery, compassion, and unwavering determination to protect the wildlife they cherished. As the hyena pack closed in, the air thickened with tension. Mia's heart raced as she gripped the rope around the horse's neck, ready to pull it to safety. Sam stood beside her, branch in hand, his expression determined yet anxious. "We need to get this horse moving now," he urged, glancing nervously at the advancing predators. The sound of the hyena's growls filled the air, a chilling reminder of the danger they faced. "On the count of 3, Mia said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. We pull the horse toward the trees. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Together, they tugged on the rope, urging the horse to move. But the animal was still panicked, its eyes wide with fear as it struggled against the quicksand. Just then, one of the hyenas lunged forward, snarling fiercely. Sam swung the branch in a desperate attempt to ward it off, narrowly missing the animal. "Get back," he shouted, his voice echoing through the clearing. The other hyenas hesitated for a moment, watching their companions advance. "Mia! We need to pull harder!" Sam yelled, his heart pounding. The tension was palpable as the hyenas circled them, assessing the situation. With each growl, the sense of urgency grew stronger. Mia felt a knot form in her stomach. They couldn't let the hyenas get any closer. Mia leaned in closer to the horse, her voice soothing. "You're okay, we're going to get you out of here," she whispered, trying to calm it down. But the horse continued to flail, caught in the quicksand's relentless grip. Time was running out. The leopards had been driven off, but the hyenas were still a significant threat. "Come on, girl. You've got to trust us," Mia urged, her heart racing as she felt the rope slip through her fingers slightly. She gritted her teeth, pulling harder as Sam joined in. Together, they began to slowly pull the horse closer to safety, inch by inch. The hyenas seemed to sense the shift in momentum and began to grow restless. Just then, the lead hyena, a large and fierce female named Ruka, let out a chilling howl, rallying her pack. "They're coming!" Sam shouted, his eyes wide with fear as the hyenas prepared to charge. "Mia, we need to move now." With one final effort, they pulled with all their might. The horse, sensing its chance for freedom, kicked its legs against the quicksand, and with a surge of determination, it began to move. "That's it! Keep going!" Mia shouted, her voice filled with encouragement. As they pulled the horse closer, Ruka charged forward, teeth bared and eyes fierce. Sam swung the branch wildly, trying to deter her advance. "Get back! You won't take this horse," he shouted, adrenaline fueling his actions. The horse, now almost free, let out a distressed whinny, and Mia felt a surge of hope. "Just a little more," Mia cried, desperation creeping into her voice. She could see the edge of the quicksand just a few feet away. With one last heave, they yanked the horse free, and it stumbled onto solid ground, breathing heavily but alive. But the danger was far from over. The hyenas, enraged by the sudden turn of events, regrouped and prepared to attack once more. Ruka, her eyes locked on the now freed horse, let out a fierce snarl. "You think you can escape?" she spat, her voice dripping with contempt. "Get back! We won't let you take it," Sam shouted, stepping in front of Mia and the horse, brandishing the branch like a shield. The tension in the air was thick, and Mia's heart raced as she watched the scene unfold, feeling the weight of the moment. The horse, trembling with fear, looked between Sam and Mia, its instincts kicking in. But there was no time for hesitation. Ruka lunged forward, followed by her pack, ready to take advantage of the situation. "Mia, we need to protect the horse. We can't let them take it," Sam yelled, his voice strained with urgency. With the hyenas closing in, Mia stepped closer to the horse, trying to calm it. "It's okay. You're safe with us," she whispered, hoping to ease its anxiety. But fear had taken hold of the horse, and it began to rear back, ready to bolt. "Stay still," Sam shouted, waving his branch to distract the hyenas. "We need to give it time." The tension was unbearable as the hyenas circled closer, their eyes fixed on the horse with hungry anticipation. Suddenly, a loud growl erupted from behind them, causing both Sam and Mia to turn. Emerging from the thicket was a massive male lion, his mane flowing like golden silk in the wind. It was Chemo, the protector of the pride. The sight of him sent shockwaves through the pack of hyenas, who momentarily halted their advance. "Mia! Get the horse out of here!" Sam shouted, relief flooding through him as Chemo stepped forward, a fierce protector ready to defend his territory. The hyenas, sensing the threat, began to back away, uncertainty flashing in their eyes. With renewed hope, Mia pulled on the rope gently, guiding the horse toward the trees. "Come on, we can do this," she encouraged, her heart racing as they moved closer to safety. Chemo stood tall, a powerful figure between them and the approaching danger. "Leave now, or face the consequences." Chemo roared, his voice booming like thunder. The hyenas, recognizing the danger, hesitated, their instincts kicking in. Ruka glared at Chemo, realizing they were no match for him. "This isn't over, Lion," she spat, backing away, her pack following her lead. As the hyenas retreated into the shadows, Mia felt a wave of relief wash over her. They had survived the attack, thanks to Chemo's timely arrival. "Thank you," Mia called out, her voice filled with gratitude. Chemo nodded, his eyes softening as he turned to the horse, who seemed to sense the danger had passed. With the immediate threat gone, Sam let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. "We did it," he said, glancing at Mia, who was still holding the rope with determination. "We really did it." But they knew the fight wasn't over yet. The hyenas would return, and they needed to make sure the horse was safe. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. "We need to get it back to the Pride," Chemo said, his voice steady. "It's not safe out here, and there's a den nearby where it can rest." Mia nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude for Chemo's protection. "Thank you for coming when you did," she said sincerely. "We couldn't have done this without you." Chemo gave a slight nod, his demeanor shifting to one of warmth and care. "You showed great bravery today. It's important to protect those who cannot protect themselves." The weight of his words settled in Mia's heart, reminding her of the responsibility they all carried. As they began to lead the horse toward the Pride's den, Mia couldn't help but feel a sense of unity among them. The bond they shared, formed through a harrowing experience, was stronger than ever. Together, they would ensure the safety of the horse and any other creatures that might be in danger. With Chemo leading the way, they navigated through the thick underbrush, the sounds of the savannah surrounding them. The sun dipped lower on the horizon, casting long shadows across the landscape. As they walked, Mia felt the weight of the day begin to lift. They had triumphed over danger, and now they were bringing a new friend to safety. As they reached the Pride's den, a sense of calm washed over Mia. The horse, still trembling, began to relax, sensing the safety of its new surroundings. "It's going to be okay," Mia whispered, stroking its neck gently. With Chemo watching over them, Mia felt a deep sense of gratitude for the connections they had forged. They had faced danger together, and their bond would carry them forward. The experience had shown her the importance of standing up for those in need, and she was ready to embrace that responsibility. As the last rays of sunlight faded into twilight, Mia and Sam settled beside the horse, sharing stories of their adventure. Chemo lay nearby, his presence a comforting reminder of strength and protection. In that moment, Mia realized that they were all part of a larger community, a network of animals and humans dedicated to protecting the vulnerable and ensuring that every creature had a chance at life. Together, they would continue to stand against threats, forging a brighter future for all in the savannah. And as the stars began to twinkle above them, Mia knew that their journey was just beginning. With the lessons learned and friendships formed, they were ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their mission to protect and serve. The scene in the savannah was tense, as Chemo, the magnificent lion, faced the pack of hungry hyenas, his eyes narrowed and muscles tensed for battle. Behind him, the horse he had just rescued was now standing on solid ground, still trembling but safe from the quicksand. Sam and Mia, who had been instrumental in pulling the horse free, stood ready to help Chemo defend their newfound friend. They could feel the heat radiating from the sun as it began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the savannah. "Stay close to the horse," Chemo called out, his voice a deep growl that reverberated through the air. Sam and Mia exchanged worried glances as they observed the leopard sizing them up. Ruka, the alpha female, was poised to strike, her pack flanking her on either side. Chemo took a step forward, the ground vibrating under his powerful paws. "I won't let you take them," he roared, his fierce gaze locked onto Ruka. The hyenas hesitated, glancing between Chemo and their leader, unsure of how to proceed. They had never seen a lion so determined, especially one willing to risk everything for a horse and its rescuers. "What are you waiting for?" Ruka snapped at her pack. "Attack! He can't protect them forever." But even as she barked her command, Chemo could see the uncertainty in her eyes. It was a moment of hesitation that could change everything. Just then, the wind shifted, carrying the scent of the approaching herd of wildebeests that had been stirred by the commotion. Chemo sensed the shift and knew they needed to act fast. "We have to scare them off before they get too close," he urged. Sam and Mia nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. The time for talk was over, it was time for action. "On 3. Mia shouted, her heart racing with adrenaline. 1, 2, 3. As Chemo charged forward, Sam and Mia let out loud shouts, clapping their hands together to create noise. The sudden uproar startled the hyenas, and they momentarily faltered, glancing at each other as if debating their next move. Chemo took advantage of their hesitation and lunged toward Ruka, his massive body moving with impressive speed. He roared, a fierce sound that echoed across the savannah, sending shivers down the spines of the hyenas. "You think you can take on a lion and a group of humans? You're mistaken." Chemo bellowed, his voice commanding and filled with authority. Ruka hissed in response, her bravado still intact. "We are not afraid of you, Chemo. You're just one lion against an entire pack," she growled, rallying her pack behind her. The hyenas began to move, forming a tight formation as they prepared to surround Chemo, their eyes filled with cunning determination. As Chemo stood his ground, Sam and Mia could see that the pack was preparing for an all-out assault. The hyenas growled, their teeth bared, ready to leap into action. The atmosphere grew thick with tension, and time seemed to slow down as Chemo prepared for the fight of his life. "Stay strong," he urged, turning his head briefly toward Sam and Mia. "I need you both to distract them while I hold them off." "Got it," Sam replied, glancing at Mia, who nodded in agreement. They quickly grabbed sticks from the ground and raised them high, ready to make noise and cause a distraction. They shouted and waved their makeshift weapons, trying to draw the attention of the hyenas away from Chemo. But just as they began to make noise, a sudden rustle in the grass caught everyone's attention. From the nearby thicket, a massive herd of wildebeests emerged, their hoofs pounding against the earth as they charged toward the scene, instinctively responding to the commotion. Chemo's eyes widened as he realized the wildebeests were headed straight for the hyena pack. The hyenas, startled by the unexpected herd, quickly shifted their focus. "What the?" Ruka shouted, her eyes wide with shock. "Retreat! Retreat!" The pack began to scatter, but it was too late. The wildebeests barreled into the fray, their powerful bodies crashing into the ground, trampling everything in their path. Chemo seized the moment and leaped forward, his roar blending with the sounds of the stampeding herd. "Now's our chance," he yelled to Sam and Mia. They stood frozen for a brief moment, awed by the sheer force of nature before them. With the hyenas distracted and the wildebeests charging, the scene became chaotic. The hyenas tried to regroup, but the wildebeests pushed through, their massive bodies sweeping the hyenas aside. Ruka hissed in frustration, trying to regain control of her pack, but the chaos had thrown them into disarray. "We need to fall back," she barked, leading the remaining hyenas away from the stampede. Chemo turned to Sam and Mia, his expression filled with urgency. "We have to help the horse," he reminded them. The animal had been standing nervously at the edge of the chaos, but now it seemed ready to bolt. Chemo approached the horse slowly, his voice calming. "It's okay, friend. You're safe now." With the hyenas retreating and the stampede of wildebeests thundering past, the horse slowly began to relax, recognizing Chemo as its protector. Sam and Mia moved to the horse's side, gently reassuring it. "You did great, buddy." "You're safe now," Sam whispered, rubbing its neck soothingly. The sound of the wildebeests faded into the distance, and the savannah fell quiet once again. Chemo watched as the last of the hyenas disappeared into the brush, their pride wounded. The danger had passed, but the adrenaline still coursed through his veins. We need to make sure the horse can get back to safety, he said, looking at Sam and Mia. Let's lead it back to the river, Mia suggested, her voice filled with determination. It will be safer there, away from any other predators. The horse nodded, sensing the urgency in their voices. Together, they guided the horse toward the riverbank, ensuring it remained calm as they walked. As they approached the water, Chemo glanced back at the savannah. The fight had been fierce, but they had triumphed. The bond formed during the chaos had strengthened them all, and Chemo felt a sense of pride for having protected the horse and the humans who stood by him. When they reached the riverbank, the horse finally began to relax, dipping its head to drink the cool water. Chemo, Sam, and Mia took a moment to catch their breath, the weight of the situation slowly lifting. Thank you for your bravery, Chemo said, turning to Sam and Mia. You both did more than I could have hoped for. Sam smiled, feeling a rush of warmth. We couldn't just stand by and let those hyenas take the horse. I'm glad we were able to help. Together, we make a great team, Mia added, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. And thanks to the wildebeests, we had a chance to turn the tide. As they watched the horse graze peacefully, Chemo felt a surge of hope. They had faced danger together and emerged victorious. This experience had reminded him of the importance of unity and bravery in the face of adversity. With the sun beginning to set on the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Chemo turned to his new friends. Let's make sure this horse finds a safe home. It deserves a second chance after everything it has been through. Sam and Mia nodded in agreement, their hearts swelling with determination. They would ensure the horse was protected and cared for, just as Chemo had done for them. As the group set out to find a nearby ranch that could provide shelter for the horse, they shared stories of bravery and adventure, laughing and bonding over their shared experience. The journey home felt lighter, filled with hope and newfound friendship. They knew that the road ahead wouldn't always be easy, but together, they could face whatever challenges lay in their path. The bond they had formed through this rescue would carry them forward, reminding them of the power of courage, teamwork, and compassion. With each step, Chemo felt a sense of purpose, knowing that he had protected the horse and forged a new alliance with Sam and Mia. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the savannah, Chemo, Sam, Mia, and their rescued horse walked toward a brighter future, ready to face the adventures that awaited them. And if you like the story, remember to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell.